girl Shalae, and I'm back today with another video. In today's video, we're going to discuss a new proposal for $500 per child for everyone, guys. Now, it doesn't matter if you are receiving SSI, SSDI, VA, railroad, Social Security benefits. If you have a child, the government is proposing to give you $500 each year for that child. But there is a catch. Now, before you go ahead and ask, like, Shalae, is this the same thing as the child tax credit? Are they trying to decrease the child tax credit? This does not affect the child tax credit at all. So I know you guys are going to want to hear about this. And if you want to know where the money reside, you already know what to do. Stay tuned. Your girl's got you covered. Now, if this is your first time tuning into my channel, hi, hello, hey, friend. My name is Shalae, and here on this channel, we discuss shopping, saving, and everything in between. I would love to have you a part of my internet family. Super easy. Click the big old red subscribe button down below when you're in, just like that. And while you're at it, go ahead and give me a like, especially if you love me bringing this content to you. Now, guys, if I sound a little bit lispy, that is because I do have my Invisalign in. I'm going to try to film more with it in. But if you guys don't like it, let me know down in the comments and we'll go ahead and take it out while filming. Now, if you are not an Amazon Prime member, you can try out Amazon Prime completely free by, just clicking the link above in the description box or down in the cards, all right? All right, so let's go ahead and talk about it because this concept does not surprise me, guys. The concept of giving children money gain at the federal level, is not anything that we're not used to, right? And no, it's not about the child tax credit. But remember last year in February of 2023, we had Senator Cory Booker and Ayanna Pressley. They had introduced the American Opportunities Accounts Act. Now, under this act, it would fund or give $1,000 a savings account for every child in America. And they wanted to do this every year where each account would receive up to an additional $2,000 deposit depending on that family's income. Now, the bill, it was referred to the Committee on Finance, but it has yet to pass through the Senate. But this was kind of like the foundation or the groundbreaking for this new bill that we have. So in this new bill, there is a group of lawmakers, and they're introducing this legislation to help children start saving early for retirement by establishing a savings account for every child in America. Now, this plan calls for providing a savings account for children under the age of 18 as well as newborn. So if your child is from newborn through 17 years old, they would put that $500 in the account. Now, low to moderate income families, you would be eligible, of course, for that $500 deposit up until your child turns 18, as long as you have an adjusted gross income under $75,000 for single filers, $150,000 for married. They would get that $500 per year. It does not matter if you're on SSI, SSDI, you would get that as well. Now, the contributions will phase out if your income is above those limits that we just discussed. You still on the bus? Okay. Now, children that would be in households that are eligible for the earned income tax credit, they will give you guys additional aid. That means you will get an additional $250 per year, even if they did not use the earned income credit. But earned income credit households would receive a dollar-for-dollar savings. So then it would be like if you decide to contribute up to $250 yourself, they would give you that as well. If your families, so it'll be like families like grandparents, children, aunts, uncles, you could still put in $2,500 as well per year for your child as well. Now, the catch is this. Children would not be able to use these funds until they turn 18, but they can use the money for education, for training, for buying a home, for starting a business. If they decided that they didn't want to use those funds, then they will automatically roll it over into like a Roth individual retirement account or an ABLE account for children with disabilities, right? So this right now, guys, once again, it is just a proposal, right? So let's talk money, right? Because that's what it boils down. Just say a single parent who was eligible for the earned income tax credit, they made under $40,000 a year, they would accumulate about $53,000 when their child turns 18, starting from newborn to 18. That estimate includes, like, they will receive $21,000 in federal funding because they would get the $750 per year. Just say your family contributed $8,500 and then $24,000 in investment returns. So that would be $53,000 when your child turned 18. With this, it will be automatic enrollment at birth, with the money invested will be based on the children's age. Now, in addition to this, families still would be eligible for state contributions as well. So let me know, what do you guys think about this proposal? I think it's a great proposal. I mean, the fact that they are doing things right now in the Senate is very, like, encouraging, because we know we are waiting on the child tax credit. But I'm like, my God, what a time to be alive, right? Now they have free education where you can go to community colleges and don't have to worry about student loans. They also now are trying to create savings accounts because, I mean, look, we don't know what is going to happen with Social Security. So the fact that you can turn 18 and you can have money that you can just start your life. I mean, a lot of us did not have that when we turned 18, and we only had 3 options. Either you get out the house, you go to college, or you go to the military. We didn't have no money. My family didn't have any money. And so now the fact that you can give children money and $53,000 at 18, I think this is a great plan. I think it's a great idea. I don't know if it's going to pass, but whether it passes or not, guys, states are doing this. So this is something they're trying to do at the federal level. Let's go ahead and move on to the states, where they have now started to adopt those baby bonds as well. And then you can actually, if it does pass, you can use your state assistance as well as the federal assistance. So we have, like I said, states have introduced this. We have, like, Massachusetts and 7 other states are introducing what they call baby bonds, and they have different requirements. So like Iowa, Wisconsin, Washington, Delaware, Nevada, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, which, let's go ahead and start things off in Connecticut, because they were the first state to establish this initiative in 2021. Now, when they passed their legislation, they allotted $3,200, a trust fund, for every newborn that was enrolled in the state's public health coverage program. So every one of those 7,810 babies that were born to mothers on Medicaid the last half of 2023 in Connecticut, all of them automatically receive that $3,200 baby bond, which will be worth $11,000 when their child turns 18 in 2041. My gosh, that seems so far away. Oh my gosh. But all 5 of the state's 169 cities and towns, all babies were automatically enrolled for the baby bond, so the mothers did not have to do anything to cash in on the baby bond. In Connecticut, the children must be between the age of 18 and 30. They would have to pass a financial literacy test and be a Connecticut resident. And then those proceeds that they have, they can use them for whatever they want. They can generate the family wealth. They can decide to go ahead and buy their own home. They can pass it from generation to generation, depending at the age that the recipient decides to go ahead and access the money. The bond could be worth up to $24,000 if they kept it until they were 30 years old in Connecticut. So they begin this program in Connecticut on July 1st in 2023. Then we have where Washington, D.C., they follow suit, where they had created funds with $500 for each child that was born into a low-income family after October 1st of 2021. So at birth in D.C., they seeded each family with $500 and up to additional $1,000 being paid each year that the parents continue to have low income at that below poverty level that they created by legislation. Now, those funds, of course, they do accrue annually when the child reaches 18. It doesn't say like if the parent can try to request those funds earlier or not. So I don't believe that you can access those funds. But I mean, even if something happens to you, your child will still be able to have that money there. I mean, you know, it sounds so morbid to think about it, but you also want to make sure that your children are doing well in the event that you are not here, right? Then in Massachusetts, they have where they propose their baby bond legislation as well. Now, this is once again being introduced by the state, and they have a baby bond task force. That's a lot. Okay, in Massachusetts, where the newborns receive an initial deposit of $6,500. Then that will grow to $15,600 by the time the children reach 18. And if they wanted to wait until 30 years old, they can get $28,000 as well. But once again, guys, like, I don't know if you guys have heard of these programs. Let me know down in the comments below. Like, are you having a grandchild in one of these states? Did you know that this was going on at all? I mean, look at a way to build wealth for your family. A lot of us are struggling and we don't have money right now. And so the fact that Massachusetts will allow them to have that account up until the age that they are 35, as long as they reside, work, or pay taxes in Massachusetts, like, that is just crazy to me. Like, I wish at 18 I had something like that. Now in Massachusetts, the task force, it doesn't specify what really qualifies for a baby bond, but it does just recommends that children receive automatic eligibility prior to turning 1 year old, or if they are enrolled in the 10F program as well. Now, Iowa is debating a plan on whether they should offer money to everyone born in their state, or, you know, make you opt in. Then I know Wisconsin is doing something as well, where babies born into Medicaid would be eligible for $3,000 in baby bonds or access to those funds when they turn 18 as well. So you see, states are now, all it takes is somebody to have this good fairy idea, and then you see states start jumping all over it. Next, we are headed to Vermont, where legislators were supposed to reconvene in January, and one of the things they wanted to consider was to provide each child that was born into poverty their own little nest egg as well. Now, they were looking at that if a child is born on Medicaid, regardless of the parent's citizenship status, that they would receive a one-time allotment of $3,200 from the state, which will store in the state's account for the child to collect between the ages of 18 and 30. Now, I know you guys are like, well, what type of account? How would this happen? But I'm going to tell you a story in a few minutes. So we'll come back to that. Let's just bookmark that. But also, like in Nevada, they have where officials are considering baby bonds there as well, where the state is looking at giving out $3,200 for those that are born under Medicaid starting on or about January 1st of 2024. So they're looking at, for children that were born this year, that you would be able to go ahead and get money as well until your child turns, when they turn 18. And when they're factoring in like their interest rates for the account, that can be worth anywhere from $10,000 to $14,000 as well. And I mean, it goes for multiple children. So if you have twins, if you have more children, they are looking at doing it. And also, like in California, I think they became the first state to commit to setting up trust funds for children who lost a parent or a caregiver during the pandemic. So in California, they have this $100 million in total that's giving out like interest-bearing accounts for children of low-income families who have lost a parent to COVID, as well as kids who are in the state's foster care system. Now, we've talked about different pilot programs for those that were aging out of the foster care system in California, but state lawmakers are trying to decide how much money each child would get, and they're proposing to give like younger kids $4,000 and then like older kids $8,000. And they're like, look, this would be enough to provide them funding, because about 16,000 kids, they lost their parents during COVID. Now we know like total, I think it was over 400,000 deaths in COVID, but that's what they are looking to do in California. New York is doing the same thing, where they have 16,000 New York kids who lost parents due to COVID as well, and they said that these baby bonds could help. So New York has proposed new legislation that will alleviate the financial burdens of those children who lost their parents, their caregivers as well. And so they are looking at establishing their own baby bond program. And so pretty much what the baby bond program is, just like a savings account. But in New York, I mean, in California, they're looking at this is a great thing to do for grieving children, as well as to make sure that they are set up for success, because they don't have anyone there to help them at all. Now, in New York, they're looking at giving, I want to say, about $1,000 per kid, and then $1,000 every year that the kid goes to college as well. Well, every year until the kid get ready to go to college. And they say that this could be used to, you know, get them on their feet as well, to help out. So I think these are great plans, but the fact that they're looking at doing this on a federal level and opening up to everyone, this is a win. Now, like I said, I don't know if it's going to pass, but let me go ahead and tell you about a story really quick. I had a friend who her child was in a daycare facility, and her child ended up getting burned at the daycare facility, where she decided to sue them. Once she sued them, the company, she got a sizable amount of money, or so she thought she was going to get, but they end up putting the money into the state's fund. So just say if she got $32,000 for her kid being burned at the daycare, then she couldn't access that $32,000 at all. But when her child turned 18, because her child was the one that got burned, she would have access to the money. Now, the daycare system, I don't know what was going on, but somehow she had her daughter hand under a running faucet of hot water and gave her third-degree burns, was in the hospital, all the things. She's okay now, but when she does turn 18, she will automatically have all the interest and everything that happened from that $32,000 settlement. And like I said, I don't know, it could be more or it could be less as well. So what do you think about the program? Do you think that children should have access to the money? Do you like that your child would have a savings account or a nest egg when they turn 18? Do you wish that this was there when we were growing up? And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I selected 2 more people from my last video where I sent them different Cash Apps. I don't have their comments to put on here, but as long as you comment and give me a certain comment, I might reach out to you and say, hey, what's your Cash App? And if I do, I'll grab it and send you some money and delete the comment as well, so nobody can be contacting you. Now, if I don't contact you, please don't contact me, but I am going around, you know, trying to do my part, because I really want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I want to pour back into you as well. And this is all I have. Please like, comment, subscribe, grab you some Amazon Prime. Let me know if I sounded very lispy or not. And because I have to keep wearing these, guys. I'm trying to get my teeth straight, so I have to keep wearing them. And I will talk to you later, Gator. Bye, guys.